and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about intervals. Now, what are intervals? All intervals are the distances between two notes. For instance, from C to E, it's 1, 2, 3. It's a third. G. So let's go from C to G. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a distance of a fifth. Now let's just look here on the paper and just some things that we have to remember. Okay, an interval of a third, as we see here. This is from C to E. Now when they're evenly stacked like that, they are harmonic, meaning that they're played at the same time. Or we could have melodic intervals. See, from C to E, but it's separate, so it's creating a melody. So we would play them separately. Now, what we have to know for this basic theory exam are intervals, major, minor, and perfect. So let's talk about perfect first. So we can come down here. From C to C, that's called a perfect one or a unison. A perfect fourth. So we count the note, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then every line in space. That's a perfect fourth. Here's a perfect fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our last perfect is a perfect octave. So from here, it's from C to C. So 8 notes apart. Okay, so down to the keyboard. We have to remember our perfects because they will remain perfect for this basic theory exam. Ones, so if you're playing, sometimes we have to play the same note with 2 different fingers. That's just how it might land. So those are perfect 1, which are also unisons. Perfect fourths, 4 notes apart. Perfect fifths, 5 notes apart. And perfect octaves. And these are also known as common chords. If you're creating a song using perfect fourths, perfect fifths, and your octaves in your song would be a safe way to create a song. And using those chords in any key that you're in, the 4 notes up from whatever key you're in, or 5, the 5th up from any key you're in, or the octave, would create a simple song, and it's used all the time. Now let's talk a little bit about how you can get asked an exam question. Okay, so here they would ask you to name this interval. All right, so we have to first count. We count the first note. You have to count the first note, so don't forget it. It's 1, 2, 3. So we know it's a third of some kind. Now remember, do not, write the number first. So have a system on how you're going to work. Let's count 1, 2, 3. Now, we always ask the bottom note. So these are melodic intervals, as you can see, because they're side by side. We always take the bottom note and we ask the major scale question. Okay? So, in the scale of E major, would I play a G like that? Okay, so you have to know what the scale of E major has in it. So, we don't have a flat in front of that name, so what are we going to look for, sharps or flats? Obviously, we're going to look for sharps. So what comes before E? D. Father Charles goes down. So, in E major, would I play G like that? Because we just said in the scale of E major, there would be a Father Charles goes down. These are all sharps. So what note is that? It's a G, E, F, G. So that, if it was a major third, it would have a sharp in front of its note, in front of itself right there, but it doesn't. So, you see here, that would make it a major third. Whoops. But because it doesn't, we say it's a minor third. For as you can see, let's look down on the keyboard. E major, I would play the scale E, F, G. That's the beginning. A, B, C, D, E. So, 1, 2, 3. 3 half steps apart makes it a minor third. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half steps apart, okay, makes it a major third. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. We look at the bottom note. Who is that bottom note? Yep, the bottom note is an F. All right, so now let's count every line and space up to the top note. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. F to E. So you're going to ask yourself, in the scale of F major, always ask the major scale question, would I play E like that? Now, what does F major have in its key signature? Now, that's the one we had to memorize. F for flat. Yes, it has the first flat, which is a B flat. So that's not a B, so we don't have to worry about it. So let's count the distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to put 7 down. Now, in F major, if I was to play the scale of F major, would I play E like that? Yes, you would. So because you would, it's a major 7. Now, you could put plus signs for major, or sometimes they want you just to write out, like in short form, major, and here it would say this short form for minor. Okay, let's just look at underneath. Here is another type. They could ask you like this. Write the following interval above each of the given notes. Okay, so they want a major third. Make sure you check your key, your clef here. This is the bass clef now. So we'd have to know who that note is. Okay, so this is E, D. So we know that that's a D. They want a major third. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's fit that in there because we have a space, line, space. Now ask yourself, now this is a third, in the scale of D major, would I play an F like that? Okay, so here's D major. What comes before D? It doesn't have a flat in its name, so we know we're going to be looking for sharps. What comes before D? C. Say the rhyme. Father, Charles. D, E, F. Was that an F? Yes, but it's not a sharp. We need to make this a major third, so we have to play it like you would find. So in the scale of D major, would I play an F like that? No. So to make it a major, I need to put the sharp right in front of the note. Okay, let's just do one more. The other thing I want to also say is that if there is a key signature in front, if you're being asked an interval question, or any question actually, if there's a key signature in front, it affects the whole line. So remember, if you're going to be writing an F anywhere, it's going to be recognized as an F sharp. So just keep that in mind. So let's take a look at this one. Now they want a major sixth. Okay, so the first thing we do, we're going to count the note and then every line in space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw the note right there. 6. Now what do we ask? Who's the bottom note? It's an A. So in the scale of A major, would I play an F like that? So A major doesn't have a flat in its name, so we're going to look for sharps. What comes before A? So it's Father, Charles, goes. So who is that name there? So they want a major sixth. So to make this a major sixth, I would have to put a sharp right in front of that note. Just so that we make it so that in the scale of A major, yes, I would play an F sharp like that. So therefore, it's a major interval. Let's take a look at a perfect one. Perfect fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put the note. Now who's that bottom note? D. So in the scale of D major, so what comes before D? Father Charles. So that note's not affected. So in the scale of D major, would I play G like that? Yes. So because it's a fourth, it remains perfect. Okay, and it's played like that. In D major, we would play a G like that. So this is a perfect interval. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind that I want to go over. The accidentals you might use. An accidental is not an accident. They are the sharps, the flats, and the naturals that would be in front of a note. A sharp raises the note by a half step, a flat lowers the note by the half step, and a natural is always played on a white key, and it cancels any sharp or flat, or if, say, there's a key signature, would cancel that key signature just for that note in that measure. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we're going to talk about perfects just quickly again, the difference here. Let's go from E. Let's go perfect octave. They want a perfect octave up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from E to E. In the scale of E major. So what comes before E? Father Charles goes down. So of course E to E is perfect. All right, so because it's going to be the same as it is at the bottom. Now if you had a, say you had you wouldn't have this for the basic exam, but just to show you something, say you had a E flat and then there was an E there. Do you think that would be a perfect octave? It is 8 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But let's take a look at the keyboard. Here is E flat and here's E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now E flat to E flat makes it a perfect octave. But look at, now I'm going to go wider. So this is going to be called an augmented eighth. You don't have to worry about that for the basic exam, but just remember, if they want a perfect octave written, don't just count the 8. Don't forget the accidental. And the accidental has to be on the same line or space as the note. Reason being like this. You might have this, a second. Okay, let's put the C in front. Now they want this as a major second. They want you to write a major second. So you'd have to look at the bottom note. This is a B. So in the scale of B major, would I play a C like that? Well, what comes before B? Father Charles goes down and stop. So C, that's a C. So it has to be affected. And to make it a major second, we have to play it the way it would be seen in a major scale. Or, oh, actually, I said for B major. It's B major, okay, the accidental is going to be right there. But what if it was B flat? So you see here? How do you know that's for the B flat? It's not right beside the note, but sometimes it can't be because there's a note in the way. So it has to be on the same line or space as the note. So we would look to see what line it's on, and we know it's for B because it's on the B flat. It's B flat because it's on the B line. All right, even though it can't always be beside the note, so be very careful because sometimes you might get notes that are like this, and it might have a sharp, it might have another sharp, and you might have to move this one here. It can't be right beside the note, but it has to be on the same line or space as the note. Okay, so I guess you now see that you'd have to know your key signatures, so you can go back to part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 of this channel to review that if you need. Quickly, I want to mention we've been listening to Mozart music, and I've been talking about Mozart for the mind. I just want to talk about here, it's in a book. All right, so I'm going to read you an interesting little fact, and I guess it's a fact because it's in a book. But they did a study in which 36 undergraduates from the psychology department scored 8 to 9 points higher on the spatial IQ test after listening to 10 minutes of Mozart Sonata for 2 pianos in D major. And that's what we were playing just earlier there. Now they say that the effect lasted for about 10 to 15 minutes because it's, of course, just listening for 10 minutes isn't going to make you smart forever. But they're strongly encouraging that simply listening to music can make a difference. And hopefully that this helps. See you soon.